What's up, YouTube? So today is going to be a bit of a different type of video. I'm usually doing like build videos or like a trailer tour or something like that. Today I wanted to sit down and just kind of have like a podcast type of talk. I'll keep it short, but I wanted to talk a bit about running a business at a young age and mainly starting a business at a young age. I started my business at 19. I'm now 22 and it's running pretty good. So stay tuned if you want to watch this. If you want to watch a build video, stay tuned. I'll keep dropping those in the next coming weeks. All right, guys. Well, to get right into it, I'll be giving some tips and tricks for how I started my business, some things that I learned along the way, things that I should have implemented earlier that I did not. So this video is going to be for anybody starting mainly a trade business. I'm not here to tell you how to start a drop shipping company or something like that. This is going to be particularly carpentry, but any sort of trade business, drywall, whatever. And this is really also targeted towards younger people because I was 19 when I started. So it's definitely had its challenges. And I know like a lot of 19-year-olds coming straight out of high school or even college, they don't really know what to do. And I didn't either. So this is kind of a video that I would make for my past self. And yeah, I would really appreciate a video like this when I started my business. So here I am making it now. So just a quick backstory on myself and my business. I was 19 when I started my business. I was halfway through my associate's degree studying architecture. It was a 2-year program, and I was about done. I was in my last semester, and I'd worked with tools my whole life, and I was like, I'm going to start a handyman business, kind of on the side, but I knew that that's what I wanted to do and kind of grow that after I was done with college. So I started the business halfway through my final semester. I really didn't know much what I was doing, but I went for it and just learned along the way. So before you go out and start your own business, step number one is you have to know a bit about what you're trying to do. So you can't just want to start a carpentry business if you've never worked with wood or made a cut in wood. Your results are not going to be good. So if you can get an apprenticeship or work with a cabinet maker or a trim guy or whatever for a while until you feel very confident to be able to go out and start your own thing, that's super important. Now, even though I knew a lot about houses and how to fix things, obviously you're not going to know everything. I was still very novice in my knowledge. So you're going to have to research heavily as you go along, especially when you're starting your business. I was always coming back from jobs, especially, I still am, but when I was first getting started, all my nights were just researching how to do certain projects, how to hone my craft, and really perfect it because you want to be producing the highest quality that you can. So, one of the first steps for starting my business, logistically speaking, was to go out and get an LLC. I live in Colorado, and that was super easy to do. I think it was like 50 bucks. Don't go through a third party source, they're going to charge you a lot extra, and it's really pretty simple to do. So go get an LLC and then start yourself a website and social media. If you haven't completed jobs or you don't have pictures of your work, it's going to be a lot harder for you to start a website and social media because that is all pictures. People want to go to your website so they can view your portfolio and projects you've done. So if you haven't got that, it's going to be a bit harder. With that being said, you might want to just pick up whatever jobs you can so that you can get some images and start a gallery on social media, get your name out there. When you start your business, tell everybody. The more people that know about it, the better. And a lot of your work is going to come from friends and family. That's how it was for me. A lot of the first jobs that I had were from friends, and then it was pretty much all referral work after that. So landing jobs is difficult, especially when you're getting started, but it doesn't change. Like it is still very hard to get jobs, but it's something that you need to put some effort into, or else you're not going to have any work. So when you're first starting out, it's important to just tell everybody, I'm starting a business. Here's what I do. If you know anybody or if you guys have anything, let me know. I'd love to do a project for you guys. That's huge because a lot, at least for me, a lot of my first jobs were friends, family friends, or anything like that. They will hire you at a discounted rate or whatever, since you're just getting started. If you do a good job, they'll tell their friends, and you'll get some referral work along with that. So another way that I landed a lot of jobs right off the bat was through an app called Next Door Neighbor. I'm not sure if everybody's got that, but here in Colorado, it's super popular. It's basically an app where neighborhoods can get together and talk about things going on in the neighborhood, or they can throw out referrals for companies they've worked with, or anything like that. So I basically wrote a little paragraph about who I am, what I do. If you've got anybody who needs this work, let me know, along with some pictures, and you can post that there for free. And I got a lot of jobs through that. These ads don't always work. Sometimes they'll take off and boost in popularity in a neighborhood, or sometimes they won't at all. So if you're posting these, I would say stay consistent with it. Post maybe one every couple months or something like that, just to stay at the top of the search for whatever your trade is. Because people go on there and search carpentry, and then your name will pop up. So that's been super helpful for me. I never used anything like Angie Leads or any lead service. I was able to stay pretty busy through word of mouth and just referral work. So it's super important when you're running your own business to have very high standards of quality. Quality is the biggest value that I have for my business, and I want to be sure that I'm putting out the best product that I possibly can. If you do a bad job at someone's house and they are not gracious, word will get out. Make sure you're doing a good job on every job you have, even if that means you're not making as much as you should. One bad review costs a lot more than just taking a loss of a little bit of money on a certain job. Reviews are really important, and getting good reviews is really important. Bad reviews are really hurtful for your business. So be sure that you're doing a quality job so that word spreads in a positive manner instead of a negative manner. Now, first getting started in your business, you're going to be wanting to take every job you can. And with that being said, that's not always the best option. You really want to be looking for the ideal clients that you'd want to work for in the future, that you bond with, that you click with, and that care about the quality of the product that you're trying to put out. By working with people that don't appreciate this, you run the risk of hurting your business quite a bit with bad word of mouth getting out there. If they complain about your prices, it's just not worth it to deal with those kinds of people. So, my biggest tip, the biggest tip that I have, if I were to give myself advice, would be to vet your clients. Now, when you go to look at a job or give an estimate, it's super important that you're interviewing the client because they're interviewing you trying to see if you're the right fit. But you also need to be interviewing them to see if you guys click, if you have the same values, because this can save a lot of hassle in the long run. Thankfully, I haven't had too many bad clients in the 3 years of business that I've had, and that's always come down to vetting your clients. Now, when you go to look at a job, you need to be confident in your skill set and knowledge in that process, trying to see if you click with the client. And that's key. You definitely want to trust your gut on this. A lot of times, I have a gut feeling about a client, and it almost always ends up being right. Whether it's like this client is perfect, like they're awesome, I click with them, I'd want to work with them, or if maybe I should stay away from this one. So trust your gut when you go to look at jobs. Now, you want to have confidence when you go and look at a job, but you do not want to oversell yourself. I've had a problem with doing this. I'll go in and try to throw out some fancy words to make the client think that I know what I'm talking about. Most of the time, I do know what I'm talking about, but it appears fake, and the client will pick up on that. So go in there, have a human to human conversation, be humble but confident, and when you get hired to do the job, do a really good job. Yeah, don't let them down. You have to pump out really good quality. Be sure that it's the best that you can do. Show up on time. Have good communication. Communication is huge. I struggle with this. I always have, and hopefully I won't always. Most people in the trades, I hate to say it, but they're very lazy and they don't communicate well. I think that this is one of the key factors that can set you apart from the competition and from all other trades. So it's super important to stay up on your emails, stay up on your phone calls. Don't let the client be hanging for a week or something, not knowing what's going on. Don't be late, show up on time. Keep your schedule organized, your emails organized, and your phone calls organized. Another big tip that I have is don't go into debt to start your business. Make money, save money in order to fund your business. I have not gone into debt to start my business. Every tool that I have, I paid for in cash, and that's super important. Going into debt is scary and not good. So don't do it. Save up a little bit. Start small. You don't need every tool right off the bat. When I started, I just bought a Milwaukee kit with a few basic cordless tools, a couple batteries, and I bought a Milwaukee tote with some screwdrivers, all basic stuff. I went to Goodwill and just filled it with screwdrivers and pliers and stuff like that. So I started my business for about $1,500 in tools that came out of my savings. And that's super important. You don't need to go out and spend 40K and get yourself a new truck and trailer if you don't have 40K. If you have the money sitting there, that's great, but most people don't. So don't go out and go into debt to fund your business. Along with that, only buy things when you need them. So, like I said, I started with about $1,500 in tools. And as I've grown, I've also grown my tool collection. The way I did this was only buy a tool when you need the tool. And the good thing about tools is they hold their value. Most tool purchases can be justified, but not always can they be justified if you buy them at the wrong time. Also, even if the money's sitting there in your savings, only fund what you need. Do not deplete your savings to start the business. Keep an emergency fund. Keep whatever investments you've got. Slowly save up and slowly grow your business in terms of tools. The way I bought tools only as I need is I started small with really only what I needed. And if a job came along where I needed something else and it was justifiable, I would buy it and then grow my tool collection that way. So I really didn't even have a miter saw or a table saw getting started. I was just using a circular saw and tons of jigs and stuff to make that work. And it worked fine. It took me a little bit longer. I couldn't charge as much, but it worked great. Now, if you're bringing in solid income and you see that you're able to make more income with different tools, most tool purchases are justifiable. Now, I started small, quickly grew my collection. I was working out of my car at the time with a bunch of tool bags and tons of cordless tools and stuff like that. And I quickly realized that I needed to grow bigger. I needed a table saw, I needed a miter saw, and I had smaller ones, but I needed bigger ones. So that's when I bought this trailer, which is a 5x8 trailer. So I was pulling the trailer with the Jeep for a while, and it worked. It was tough, but it worked. Um, and I did what I could because, like I said earlier, it's not wise to go out and go buy a brand new truck or a brand new trailer. It's worth it to keep your savings, slowly invest in what you need. The Jeep was working fine, so I had that for a while. Then I finally needed to upgrade that because it was having issues pulling this weight. So I did not go out and buy a brand new truck. I bought a used 2004 4Runner and got a really good deal on it. Has a lot of miles, but doesn't matter. It's a solid car. Same with this trailer. This trailer is used. It's fairly new, but it's used, so I got a much better deal on it. And then as you grow, your tools will also grow. Getting these pack outs behind me was huge, and that was a big upgrade from the tool bags. And then just growing, growing all your other tools. So along with this topic of only buying what you need, I think there's a counter argument for that as well, of buying what you need, but buying the best thing you can afford. And I think that's super important because many things in the trailer, many of my tools, I've had to buy twice or even 3 times because I didn't get the good one right off the bat. And either they break down on me or I have issues with the tool or whatever. it's always worth it to buy the best thing that you can afford. And a lot of my tools are really expensive now. I've got doubles of a lot of things in my trailer now that I have a shop. So I got a bigger table saw, miter saw, planer, joiner, all that kind of stuff, which are big things to invest in, very expensive right off the bat. But in time, it's going to save me a lot of money. I'm going to be able to do bigger, better jobs. So the way I can justify these expensive tools is I've got my eyes set very far ahead for my business. And over a long period of time, these tools are going to save me money, and they're also going to save me a ton of time, allowing me to do more projects quicker and take on bigger and better projects. So something like the domino was expensive off the bat, but I think I probably made my money back within a couple months of owning that tool. The main thing I use the domino for is cabinet doors. And I was doing mortise and tenon doors for a long time. And when I bought the domino, it turned what would be, I don't know, 30 minutes for a mortise and tenon joint to like 5 seconds. And that saves me so much time. Um, so something like that is making my money back really quick. The Lamello Zeta is going to take a much longer time, I think, but it also offers a much cleaner result in the end. Basically, it's a hidden connector so that I'm not having to face nail on my face frames and then come back and fill them. It's a very specific, expensive tool, but over a long period of time, it will save me money and it's a much better result, which I'm always striving for with my business. So, to reaffirm that, I'm not saying to go out and go get the most expensive tool you can. I'm saying go get what's best for the money that you have. You don't want to have to buy a tool over and over and over. Do your research, get good quality tools. They'll save you time, save you money in the long run, and most of them come with a really good warranty too if it is to break. Okay, so along with not going into debt for your business, I also recommend building up your savings. So the way I've got it set up is I've got a separate savings account for my business, and I take a percentage out of that for my income, but whatever's left in there funds new tool purchases. If you have an unexpected expense, I also fund all the materials for my projects, um, unless there's a deposit or a bigger job or something like that. That way, the from the outside perspective, the client doesn't think that your business is broke and that it's just a cleaner look if you can just self fund that, as long as you have the trust with the client. And that comes back to vetting your clients too. Another tip is to make connections with everybody, especially other people in your trades, whether that's through social media or just meeting people on the job site. That's huge. A lot of them might have a job that's too small or too big for them, and they'll send it your way. And same for you. It's really good to build relationships with other people in your trade and just grow and learn from each other. So those are my main tips for starting a business, mainly a trades business at a younger age. You just have to be confident and really work hard. You got to work your tail off because there's people out here who have been doing it a lot longer than yourself. Do the best job that you can. Seriously, quality is the most important thing. Communication is a close second. But yeah, you want to be doing a good job and just continually learning how to work a business. Sometimes working with the tools comes easy. Learning new techniques of your trade is really easy, but running the business is hard. At least that's what I've found. Going and finding new clients and building those relationships, staying on it with schedules, that's really tough for me. Even taxes, those are those are really difficult. So learning more about how to run a business is super important too. But yeah, just work really hard. Work as hard as you can. In terms of pricing your jobs, that's another thing. I'm not really going to get into it. You just have to find what's fair in your area, fair for you and fair for the client. You have to know what your value is. You don't want to be underbidding every job just to get it. If it means that your prices are going to be a little bit higher for the quality that you have compared to other people in your area, then you have to price it higher. That's just the way it is. But you also need to convey to the client, why you're valuable, why they should pay for this extra quality. And that's super hard to do. So just comes with time, comes with learning. You might have awkward conversations at times. That's just part of it. So those are my tips for starting a business. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I know it's a little bit different style of video. I'm sure I left out some tips that I had, but I think that covers mainly the ideas I wanted to convey to you guys. If you have any other questions for me, please reach out. You can just comment below or send me a DM or something on Instagram. I'll get to it pretty quickly. But yeah, if you guys liked the video, please like and subscribe and comment below if you have any questions or any tips for me. I'm still young. I know I got a lot more to learn. So if you guys have any tips, if anybody else has started a business like this at my age, please reach out. I'd love to get some more tips and just keep on learning. So yeah, have a great day, guys.